Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to get right into the stock market charts. We're going to look for trade ideas. Again, everything on this channel is all about using the charts to be our guide. We try to put the probabilities in our favor, and then we manage risk. So if you're into trading or if you're finding value in the content I'm putting out, drop me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that, everyone. It really helps the channel, and it also encourages me. Yesterday I did not put a video out. There really wasn't a whole lot to go through. We're in kind of a chop area in the market. We're just chopping around, and I just didn't really have the energy for it. So sometimes I'll do that, guys. If there's nothing really going on, I just don't think there's a point in wasting my time or yours in watching a video. So let's get into the charts, though. We're going to start out with triple Q. So let's go to the hourly because, again, we're looking at this rally to continue. I've continued to talk about how I think the rally is going to continue up to our next target, which is about 318, 317.75. For the last week, we've just been chopping around. You can see this choppy action. So we're not really going anywhere recently. We're just kind of chopping around, but we are still holding up, potentially bull flagging. Okay, so you got like a flag pole, and then maybe this is the flag, and then boom, that would shoot us up to the 2 or 329, probably my final target on this bear rally. Again, I do anticipate that this rally that we're seeing in the markets is a bear market rally, but it doesn't mean that. The thing is, a bear market rally has to be believable, so you're not going to just shoot up and then crash down. Typically, a bear rally will, it can be impulsive, but it's got to suck people in, making them think that the correction, they'll start thinking, oh, this was just a correction and it's over. So that's where we have to get to from a sentiment standpoint. So as of right now, I still see, more upside. Again, it's just not going to be impulsive as it was previously. We're going to kind of grind higher is what I think is going to happen. And so far, that's been the price action for the last week. So nothing else going on. Again, that's all I see. Looking at the SPY here. So SPY, we had a little bit of an upward price channel here, and we're just drifting sideways. So potentially we're going to run up and do a back test of that, hitting 428.91 as the next level of resistance. And really, that's all I see as well. We are building negative divergence, so I think that is going to be the case. We do have negative divergence, so I think we're going to extend that negative divergence, run up, do a back test, something like this. Run up, hit this, extend the divergences out, but they'll still remain, and then maybe that's an objective area to short up there. All right, so that's all I see in the market right now. Small caps probably my least favorite, but I do think we've got a little more upside. On the small caps, you've got, this is an hourly chart, but again, this is, going back to the beginning of the sell-off. Here's your all-time highs, and you can see the downtrend or the correct, this is your downward trend. All right, so at a minimum, I think we're heading up here to this trend line. We've got resistance at 192, and then the trend line about 194. And that's what I see as kind of your minimum target. Probably objective to short up there. We do have negative divergence, so we'll see if that remains intact, but it is there as of right now. Okay, I'll go through gold and oil, and then I've got some long trade setups, and we'll just look at kind of what's going on. So gold, here's gold bullion. Again, sideways price action, basically just kind of consolidating above the 200, but we're consolidating. I think we're building energy for that continued rally, so that's where I've got gold set up. I don't see anything different telling me that that's changed. Gold looks like an area of accumulation for the next rally, so just need to see that move. We just don't see it yet. Oil, so oil's been on a rampage. Oil's been just, higher and higher. Here's oil futures continuing to kind of drift higher. Oil does have negative, let me double check on that one. No, it does not really have negative divergence there on the oil futures. So oil continues to drift. If I look at things like XLE, though, this is the oil companies, basically, ExxonMobil and Chevron, I think, being the big parts of this. You've got negative divergence, not confirmed, all right? So if we continue much higher, we're going to burn through the divergence, but it is there as of right now. So we're looking for some sort of a reversal candle, some sort of a sell signal. We don't have anything yet in these oil sectors, so until I see that, it's not a short, but I am interested in shorting this sector, okay? And the reason being, one, it's a super crowded trade. You've got all of retail piled. That I hear Kramer saying only buy these stocks. Okay, to me that's a huge red flag. Doesn't mean it's gonna, doesn't mean we have a sell signal now, but oftentimes, that Kramer guy, he likes to get in on stocks after they've proven themselves, after it's a crowded trade. He goes for the safe plays. And there's usually a little more upside after he's talking about it, but again, it's usually a fleeting, it's kind of fleeting, and you'll usually have pullbacks after that. So looking for that across the oil sector. I just don't see it yet. This one, EOG, potential here, maybe an uptrend line, because we had a bearish engulfing candle on the hourly the other day or yesterday. So maybe that plays out, but again, we're back testing, so maybe we do that, but I'm not seeing enough proof here across these to tell me that it's time to short, but they're close. Here's CVX, Chevron. So big bearish rising wedge pattern, okay? Big negative divergence on the momentum indicators and bearish pattern. So I'm looking for a breakdown. We might get that momentum spike high. They like to do this sometimes. They'll spike it up. Then this will be a breakout, but it'll be a breakout with negative divergence. High probability of failing, so most likely would, and then it'll break like that, and then we'll start to trade down and probably come down to the 200 as a minimum. So we'll watch for setups to start to form, but we don't have them yet. Okay, long trade ideas. Let's start off with Netflix. These are just individual companies. Again, all of these are under the premise that we're in a bear market rally, so we don't want to stay too long to the party, but at the same time, looks like they want to rally some more. So Netflix on the hourly chart here, just a clean setup basically for more continued upside. So we have the bullish divergence so when we were drifting lower here, this was bullish divergence on the hourly chart. See how the momentum's moving higher. We then started to reverse course, so now we're starting an uptrend. And you can see I talked about this, buy at the trend line support, and there we are right there today. So that's a buy zone. Till that trend breaks, it's an area to buy for a continued move to the upside. Again, I think we're going to trade. We need to take out this resistance 204.52, and if we do that, it's probably a pretty swift move right up to the next level, 245. All right, so basically you break through this resistance here. Nice impulsive breakout, and you should run right up to 245 as the next level of resistance. So I like that. Moving. Okay, PayPal. So PayPal, I got to go to the daily chart, but you can see we have this bullish falling wedge pattern, and really I just want you to focus on this kind of pattern here. All right, so that's a bullish falling wedge, and we don't have a buy signal. We do not have a breakout yet, but I'm looking for it, and you can see right here we're right at resistance. We need to see an impulsive break above this level. If we don't get it, we're going to get rejected and sell down. So that's it. Just need to look for that. We do have bullish divergence on the momentum indicators on the daily chart telling us that, okay, we should get the breakout. And if we get it, then I can see us moving up to probably up to this trend line, 138, 139. That trend line is... That's going to be big resistance, because on the weekly chart for PayPal, this is going back to 2016, you can see all the tags of support there. We broke that trend line, but we have not had a back test of it. So maybe we do something like this, break, rally up, hit a back test, rejected right up here. Okay, and that would be the end of that bear market rally if we're going to get it. Again, this isn't a bear market. You have a bull trend here starting back in 2016. We've broken the bull trend, so any kickbacks to resistance should be selling opportunities. But just, again, going back down to the hourly chart, you can see, as I zoom in, that basically we're just waiting for that breakout right here. Don't have it yet, so I'm not stepping in, but I'm just keeping an eye out for it. Very similar setup here, Zillow Group, ZG, and again, these are all the stocks. A lot of these stocks have been sold off really heavily. So it makes sense that they're going to get a rally. Doesn't mean they have to, but here's ZG. Main thing, bullish divergence. See the momentum moving up here on the daily chart as price has continued to fall. I'm watching this trend line right here, starting up here in November 2021. You can see all the tags, and we're right there. All right, we're right at resistance. Need to see a bullish breakout. It looks like it's starting to happen today, but we need to see follow through. And what they like to do, or what they've been doing the last couple of days, is popping it above, selling it off, popping it above, selling it off. So again, in order for that to stick, we need to see that to be a nice impulsive buying. So you'll see the volume flow in. You'll see the the impulsive buying kick in when the algos say, okay, let's buy this breakout. We haven't seen that yet, but if we get it, then this one has the potential to rally. First level of resistance is right about 44. You break above that, you should head up to, there's a kind of a midpoint here at 54.50, and then another level of resistance at 65. Okay, then there's also a potential gap way up here. I don't think we're getting above the gap. I think the 200-day will contain us, but might have a brief pop above the 200, and then it'll roll over and fail. So I would look for that level potentially at 65. Okay, and Roku, daily chart here. Bullish falling wedge pattern on the daily. Bullish divergence on both momentum indicators. No breakout or buy signal. We've basically just keep tapping against this resistance over the last week or so. I want to keep it on everyone's radar though, because it's on mine. And so I'm looking for that breakout above this downtrend line. We've also got some resistance here at about 97.95. Probably best to just give it the benefit of the doubt and wait for it to break that level there. So I would say a daily close above 97.85 should set us up for a move up to 139.30. Okay, so I like that as a setup, but no actionable trade yet. Again, we need to see that breakout. And we have everything there. We have all the ingredients there for this to happen, but until it does, we just have to sit and wait. Carvana. All right, so again, this is a very speculative play here. These have been, sold off. They're not profitable companies, but again, Carvana from the high down to where it's at now has sold off about 93%. So to get a pretty strong rally would make a lot of sense. Doesn't mean we have to, but I definitely can see it. We have a setup here for that. So on Carvana, you have a bullish falling wedge pattern, all right, on the daily chart. You have bullish divergence starting to show up on the RSI, and on the PPO, I have to kind of zoom in, but there it is right there. All right, you can even see we had a crossover, bullish crossover right there. And so we've got bullish divergence on both momentum indicators with a bullish pattern. Looking at the hourly chart, we're actually at support. You could objectively go long here. I'm going to wait. I would prefer to wait, but this is support. You can see support, support, and support. We have another reaction. So there's three. Now, from my perspective, I would prefer to wait for, we probably want to move this something like this, but I'd prefer to wait for a breakout above this bullish falling wedge pattern. If we get it, expect probably a pretty impulsive, strong move, potentially all the way up here to 103.50 area. I have to kind of mark that out. That is the most recent kind of bounce area. This thing just completely collapsed. So I would look for maybe a move up into that area. I don't know if we'd fully get there, but maybe a move up into this area as a potential bounce target for a bear rally in this thing. All right, there's a setup, no actionable trade yet, but it is at support, so it is objective to go long here, to take a position, although they might try to dump this thing down and then recover it. So I'm going to prefer to wait for a break above the wedge for a buy signal. Okay, moving on to a short trade idea, Zen. Now this is Zendesk. It's a tech company, but it hasn't really sold off yet. So I think this one's just starting its sell down, while some of these other ones have already sold down quite a bit. So as I look at this one on Zen, you roll out to the daily, you can see going back to 2016, here's support. There's the COVID lows, which was support. We hit it again there. And there's another consolidation. So we've got 4 reactions on that trend line. We broke. All right, so there is the breakdown or the sell signal. You back test, you reject. All right, we are below the most recent support here at 90.77. You can see that was kind of horizontal support, and it was also resistance here. So we had the breakdown yesterday, and we're continuing lower. So as far as I can tell, going down to the hourly chart, kind of zoom in here. We have this next level of support is not down till 73. So looks like we're going to continue to work our way lower in this one. All right, so that's all I see there. But one thing to note, I guess it gives me a little bit of a pause. Maybe we get some sort of another backtest rally like this. We have bullish divergence on the hourly here. It's cleanly intact. So that's one thing. I wouldn't load too heavy. If the market is going to continue to rally, this one will likely rally, and you'll probably get that backtest at a minimum back up to this resistance level of 90.89. It's objective to short there. It's objective to short here. It's not objective to really short right here. We're kind of like entered into the range. So, all right, moving on. Okay, just a quick touch base on the commodity trade. And this is the inflation trade. You know, this is what's causing consumer prices to be high, oil. And this is a basket of commodities, DBA, agricultural. And here's your uptrend line in commodities. As you can see, trend is not broken. So till that breaks, you're not going to see any kind of pullback in the inflation trade, really. And yeah, that's it. CNQ, this is just another potential short setup. I think they're an oil energy play or a natural gas. And the thing that I like about, let me kind of show you the trade setup that we got right now. On the daily chart, you have a clear uptrend line here. So you got all these tags of support. So that trend is still intact, clearly still in a longer term uptrend, but maybe a pullback down to that trend line would make sense. Looking at the daily chart here, you can see we most recently right there spiked high, and it made an equal high as this high right here. So equal high in price, and yet the momentum was less. So there's your negative divergence. Okay, this one didn't really have negative divergence until then. So negative divergence is in play. And so then now looking at the hourly chart, we have this potential trend line here on this most recent rally. This was your divergent high that I just showed you. And you broke trend, not that impulsive though. So we'll see. You know, it's not shiny, it's not clearly screaming to short me right here. But maybe you get some sort of a back test. The bigger picture, what I'd really want to see going down to the hourly is a break of this trend line, and that's a ways off, but maybe it's due for a pullback down to the trend line, okay? So just something to keep an eye on. Again, it's not my favorite. I'm not short this right now, but I just want to kind of point out that there is potential here in some of these energy stocks with the divergences that they are going to get a trend reversal sometime soon. Okay, that's all I have for this morning. So guys, drop me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and follow along. Hopefully I can point out some good profitable trade ideas for you. And then also check out my stock market technical analysis course. It's about 4 to 5 hours worth of video trainings. I've broken it out into different concepts. Put that together about a 1.5 years ago at my subscribers request, and I priced it affordable. So that is in the link in the description below. Check that out if you're interested in learning this as a skill set. Otherwise, I will catch you guys on the next.